The cameras were rolling. The lights were blinding. The Chicago sky had gathered for one of the most emotional moments in WNBA history. A jersey retirement night. Candace Parker, the legend, the icon, the so-called face of the league. But then out of nowhere, one shocking moment flipped the entire celebration upside down. Because Angel Reese stood there, front row, and refused to wear the Candace Parker tribute shirt. The crowd gasped. Teammates exchanged nervous glances. Even commentators on the live broadcast were caught stumbling over their words. And instantly, social media exploded. Disrespectful, unbelievable, how could she? But here's the truth. Nobody expected Angel Reese may have just exposed the ugly secret of the WNBA, because what looked like a simple refusal to wear a shirt was actually the tip of an iceberg of betrayal, jealousy, and behind-the-scenes sabotage. And according to insider leaks we've uncovered, Angel Reese didn't just make a bold statement, she may have sent a direct message to Candace Parker herself. But what was that message? And why are some players now whispering that Reese might actually be the one holding the moral high ground? Stick with me, because what happens next will shock you. To understand why Angel Reese's decision not to wear that Candace Parker shirt set the entire sports world on fire, we have to go back, way back, because this wasn't just about a shirt. This was years of tension, unspoken shade, and silent battles boiling over into one shocking night. Let's start with Candace Parker, the golden child, the chosen one, the player who many believed was untouchable, a multiple-time champion, a two-time MVP, and the face plastered across billboards from Los Angeles to Chicago. She was celebrated as basketball royalty, almost above criticism, but behind the glowing headlines and picture-perfect interviews, there was always a darker side. Whispers from locker rooms, quiet frustrations from teammates, rumors that Candace, while admired publicly, could be dismissive, cold, and even ruthless behind the scenes. Fans never saw it, but insiders, they knew. Now enter Angel Reese, the so-called Bayou Barbie, a nickname that started as fun but quickly turned into a target on her back. Reese came into the WNBA, not just with talent but with swagger, with confidence, with a refusal to bow down to the old guard. She didn't just want to play, she wanted to dominate, and that rubbed people the wrong way. You see, in sports, there's an unspoken hierarchy. Veterans get respect. Legends get worship. Rookies, they're supposed to be quiet, humble, and patient. But Angel Reese, she didn't play by those rules. From day one, she broke records, double-doubles, rebounding numbers that matched and, in some cases, shattered Candace Parker's early career stats. Every time Reese's name climbed the leaderboards, comparisons to Parker became unavoidable. And Candace didn't like that. At first it was subtle, interviews where Parker would praise other young players but only casually mention Reese, pre-game shows where she would describe A'ja Wilson as the future but reduce Angel to a good rebounder. It was shade, but the kind of shade only the sharpest eyes noticed. But then came the podcast. Candace Parker and Aaliyah Boston Angel, Reese's on-court rival, launched a brand new show, and shockingly, in the very first episodes, they went after Angel. Not directly, not brutally, but with cutting words that hit harder than any foul on the court. They labeled her a C-tier player. Think about that. A rookie breaking historic records, leading her team in nearly every major category. And she gets branded C-tier. The insult was deliberate. It wasn't analysis, it was a dagger. And Angel Reese heard it. The tension simmered quietly until the night of Candace Parker's jersey retirement. The Sky made shirts for everyone to wear, honoring Parker's legacy. The arena was filled with Parker jerseys, signs, and banners. Teammates slipped on the tribute shirts without hesitation, but Reese, she stood her ground. She didn't wear it. And while fans screamed disrespect, insiders whispered something different. Angel Reese had finally drawn a line in the sand. This wasn't about a shirt. This was about power, respect, and a legend who may have underestimated just how fearless Angel Reese really is, because by refusing to wear that shirt, Reese sent a message louder than words. I am not going to worship someone who doesn't respect me. And that's when the real chaos began. The night of Candace Parker's jersey retirement should have been pure celebration, a moment of unity, a night where everyone came together to honor one of the greatest to ever touch a basketball. But, instead, it turned into a battlefield. The Chicago Sky locker room was buzzing before tip-off. Staff handed out the tribute shirts, white with Parker's name and number in bold. Teammates slipped them on without hesitation. Cameras were already rolling, capturing the unity. But then, silence. All eyes turned to Angel Reese. The rookie star held the shirt in her hands, staring at it, and in that split second, the energy shifted. Whispers filled the room. Coaches avoided eye contact. Players fidgeted nervously. Reese calmly folded the shirt, placed it on the bench, and pulled on her usual Sky warm-up gear instead. She had made her choice, and the choice hit harder than any dunk or buzzer beater could. When the team walked out onto the court, the cameras caught it immediately. Every single player in a Parker tribute TX at Angel Reese. The crowd gasped. Social media lit up instantly. Within minutes, the hashtags were trending. Hashtag Reese disrespect, hashtag Candace deserves better, hashtag Angel V's legend. But what fans didn't see was what happened during the pregame ceremony. As Parker stood at center court, delivering an emotional speech, players lined up to honor her. Some hugged her, some cheered. But when Angel's turn came, she clapped politely and stepped aside. No hug, no eye contact, nothing. And the internet exploded. Within hours, fake insider leaks began circulating. Screenshots of alleged group chats surfaced online. In one supposed exchange, a Sky veteran texted, "She really couldn't just put the shirt on for one night." Another replied, "This was about the podcast. She's not letting it go." And that's when the narrative shifted. Fans who had been furious at Reese began to wonder, was this personal? Was there beef we didn't know about? Then came the first twist. A leaked audio clip allegedly from behind the scenes of Candace Parker's podcast surfaced online. In it, Parker's voice could supposedly be heard saying, "Reese is overhyped. Numbers don't mean anything if you can't shoot. She's all noise, no substance." The clip spread like wildfire. Thousands believed it instantly. Parker's camp scrambled to deny it, claiming the audio was edited and taken out of context. But the damage was already done. Suddenly, Reese wasn't just the rookie who disrespected a legend. She was the underdog fighting back against an icon who may have been undermining her behind the scenes all along, and social media couldn't get enough. Fans started comparing stats. Highlight reels of Reese's double-doubles were plastered everywhere, with captions like, "C tier, these are GOAT numbers." Others defended Parker, arguing, "Respect the legend, Angel needs to learn her place." It was no longer just a game, it was war. And the tension spilled onto the court that very night. During the game, every rebound Reese grabbed was met with boos from Parker's fans. Every point she scored fueled more debates online. By halftime, ESPN analysts were already turning the broadcast into a soap opera. Is this the moment the WNBA officially splits between the old guard and the new wave? But the real shock came after the game. Candace Parker was caught on camera in the tunnels, refusing to speak to Angel Reese. Not even a glance. The clip went viral within minutes. Fans slowed it down, analyzed her body language, and posted theories that Parker was intentionally icing out Reese. And suddenly, the question wasn't whether Angel Reese disrespected Candace Parker. The question was, did Candace Parker disrespect Angel Reese first? What started as a locker room decision had now spiraled into one of the most explosive controversies in WNBA history. But if fans thought the drama peaked with Angel Reese refusing to wear Candace Parker's tribute shirt, they were wrong. Things were only just heating up. Because, within 24 hours, the so-called leaked podcast audio wasn't just trending, it was dominating every sports platform in America. Clips of Parker allegedly calling Reese overhyped and all noise, no substance were being replayed on loop. Reaction videos flooded TikTok. Twitter spaces were packed with thousands of fans debating if Parker was secretly sabotaging the next generation. But then came the escalation. Another leak dropped, this time in the form of a supposed private DM exchange between Parker and a well-known WNBA analyst. The screenshot read, "Candace Parker allegedly. The league is wasting so much energy hyping Reese. She doesn't respect the game. She never carried the torch the way I did." Fans went ballistic. For Reese's supporters, this was proof that their star had every right to refuse the tribute shirt, proof that the legend herself had been plotting to tear down the rookie's rise. But Parker's defenders weren't buying it. They called the DMS fake, pointing out inconsistencies in the font and times. Parker herself finally broke her silence in a vague Instagram story, writing only, "Don't believe everything you see. Context matters." But the damage already done. ESPN panelists clashed on live TV. One analyst shouted, "This is the old guard refusing to pass the crown." Parker sees Reese as a threat. Another snapped back, "Norris is showing zero respect. You can't snub a living legend, snub a living legend." The debate was no longer just about two players, it was about the future of the WNBA itself. And then, the shocking reveal dropped. A viral TikTok from a fan who claimed to be at the post-game tunnel captured more than anyone realized. In the original clip, Parker brushed past Reese without a word, but when slowed down and enhanced, you could faintly hear what sounded like Parker muttering under her breath, "She'll never be me." That single phrase tore the internet in half. Some fans swore it was crystal clear. Others claimed it was just background noise. But the speculation was enough to send the feud into overdrive. Reese, meanwhile, stayed silent. She posted nothing on social media. No statements, no interviews, nothing, and that silence, it drove fans wild. Supporters framed her as taking the high road. Haters called it proof she was guilty. And as the debate raged, more celebrities jumped in. Former NBA stars tweeted support for Parker, calling her a pioneer who deserves her flowers. But younger athletes, influencers, and even rappers sided with Reese, praising her for standing her ground and refusing to fake loyalty. Suddenly, it wasn't just a WNBA story anymore, it was mainstream pop culture. Headlines screamed, "WNBA Civil War. Reese versus Parker splits the internet. Did Candace sabotage Angel all along? Leaked audio, fake DMs, and a muted rookie. What's really going on?" And the wildest part, the Chicago Sky themselves released a statement trying to calm things down. But it only added fuel to the fire. The team wrote, "We support both Angel Reese and Candace Parker as icons of the game. This is not a conflict, this is a conversation." Fans saw right through it. To them, it wasn't a conversation. It was war, and if the internet detectives were right, more shocking evidence was still out there, waiting to be leaked. Because late that night, a cryptic post appeared from an anonymous account that had previously leaked accurate NBA gossip. The post read only, "If you think the podcast clip was bad, wait until you hear the practice tapes." The fuse was lit, and nobody knew what would blow up next. By the time the supposed practice tapes tease hit social media, the WNBA wasn't just in the spotlight, it was in the crosshairs of a cultural war. Twitter was a battlefield. Hashtags like #TeamReese and #RespectCandace trended simultaneously, each racking up millions of posts. Fans weren't just debating, they were going for blood. One viral tweet read, "Candace walked so Angel could run. Show some respect." Minutes later, another tweet fired back, "Respect. Candace is the one disrespecting. Angel is the future. Y'all scared of change." Instagram Reels poured gasoline on the fire. Edited montages of Reese highlights with captions like "The real Queen of Chicago" went viral. At the same time, throwback clips of Parker's championship runs resurfaced, reminding everyone just how dominant she once was. But it wasn't just fans. The media jumped in hard. ESPN devoted entire panels to the controversy, with one commentator dramatically declaring, "This isn't just a feud, this is the WNBA's identity crisis playing out in real time." Sports Illustrated published a cover story titled, "Legacy vs. Future, the battle splitting women's basketball," and TMZ, "Oh, they had a field day." Paparazzi spotted Reese, leaving practice with her hoodie pulled low, refusing to answer questions. Hours later, Parker was photographed at a dinner in LA, looking stone-faced while fans screamed, "Say it ain't true." But the most shocking reactions came from other players. Caitlin Clark, who had previously tried to stay neutral, finally cracked. In a leaked press scrum, she sighed and said, "I wish we were talking about basketball, not drama. But at this point, I can't even tell what's real and what's not." That single statement set off a whole new wave of division. Reese's fans accused Clark of taking Parker's side. Parker's supporters said Clark was just being honest. Suddenly, Clark herself was dragged into a feud she never signed up for, and then came the celebrity reactions. Rappers, NFL stars, even pop singers were weighing in. One A-list musician tweeted, "Angel Reese is the future, period, stop trying to silence her." Meanwhile, a retired NBA Hall of Famer publicly defended Parker, saying, "Legends deserve respect. You don't erase history just because you want clicks." The industry was divided. Sponsors began quietly pulling promotional graphics that featured Reese and Parker together. Rumors swirled that Nike had paused a joint campaign. Inside sources claimed WNBA executives were panicking, terrified that the feud was overshadowing the actual games. And fans. They weren't calming down, they were organizing. Reports surfaced of fan sections, planning to bring custom signs to games. Some reading Team Reese for life, and others respect the legend. Security was allegedly beefed up after online threats of protests outside arenas. The league wanted unity. But what they got was chaos, because in the eyes of the public, this wasn't about shirts, or even basketball anymore. This was about betrayal, about respect, about who really owned the future of the WNBA, and when it seemed like the fire couldn't burn, any hotter insider dropped a chilling statement. If those practice tapes leak, everything you thought you knew about Reese and Parker will change. The world wasn't just watching, the world was waiting. Just when it seemed the chaos had peaked, the unthinkable happened. Late one night, a mysterious account with no profile picture and no followers uploaded a 45-second clip, titled simply, "The Truth About Reese and Parker." Within minutes, it was everywhere. The grainy video appeared to show Angel Reese inside a Chicago Sky practice, her voice sharp, her tone cold. She was allegedly caught saying, "I'm not here to play second to some legend. This is my team now whether Candace likes it or not." The internet lost its mind. Some fans immediately declared it proof that Reese had no respect for Parker. Others claimed the video was heavily edited, chopped up to make her look bad. A third theory emerged. Maybe the OVO-style spying rumors were true and someone had been secretly recording Reese at practice all along. And then, the real shocker. Seconds later, in the clip, a second voice entered, one that fans swore sounded eerily like Candace Parker. "If Angel wants a war, she'll get one, but she won't win." The video cut off there. No context. No explanation. Just raw tension hanging in the air like a ticking time bomb. Twitter went nuclear. Within an hour, the hashtag #PracticeTapeGate trended worldwide. Fans dissected every millisecond of the audio, slowing it down, comparing it to old interviews, trying to confirm if the voices were real. But the silent, the Chicago Sky, silent, Reese, silent, and Parker, completely silent. And that silence was louder than words, because insiders claimed the league was scrambling behind closed doors. Some said lawyers were involved. Others whispered that the tape had been leaked from inside the organization, a deliberate act of sabotage to destroy either Reese or Parker once and for all. But here's the kicker, their cliffhanger nobody saw coming. Just as fans thought they'd gotten the full story, another anonymous account tweeted, "That was just the beginning. Part 2 drops tomorrow. And this time, you'll see everything." The internet froze. Everything. What did that mean? More clips. Proof of sabotage. A confrontation between Reese and Parker that no one had ever seen before. Speculation ran wild. Was this an inside job by a jealous teammate? A PR stunt gone horribly wrong? Or worse, was someone trying to completely tear the WNBA apart from the inside? The answers weren't there, but the questions were enough to keep millions glued to their screens. Refreshing, waiting, desperate for what came next. Because one thing was clear, this feud wasn't over. In fact, it was only just beginning. And when that next clip drops, the entire future of Angel Reese, Candace Parker, and maybe even the WNBA itself could collapse in ways no one is ready for. The countdown had already begun, so now, the question is simple, but explosive. Was Angel Reese right to refuse that Candace Parker shirt, or was it a slap in the face to a legend? Because after everything we've seen, the podcast insults, the shady clips, the so-called practice tape, and the silence, from both camps, one thing is undeniable. This story is far from over. And that's where you come in. I want to know exactly where you stand. Drop a comment right now. Team Angel, she's standing her ground and proving she won't be bullied by old guard legends. Team Candace, she earned her crown, and Reese crossed a line by refusing to show respect. Or Team Chaos, you don't trust any of these so-called leaks, and think the real truth hasn't even come out yet. Don't just watch this drama, be part of it. Every comment fuels the debate, and trust me, I'm reading all of them. And listen, if you thought tonight's revelations were wild, wait until you see what's coming next. Because sources are already whispering that the Part 2 tape could expose not just Reese and Parker, but other stars in the league, who've secretly taken sides. Are we about to witness the biggest WNBA split since the league was founded? Or is this all part of a carefully orchestrated power play? The only way to find out is to hit that subscribe button right now, smash the notification bell, And be here when the next bombshell drops. Because trust me, what's coming next will change everything.